Okay, it's time to fix Vanquish's broken combat system. Now, this game's really fun and all, and I love it and whatever, but there are some things here that just don't make any sense and really should be addressed if they try to make a sequel. Step 1. Health needs to be visible, or part of the HUD, or something. Now, I know it's regenerating, so if people thought it was really cool to just make it look like, oh, the screen goes all red, no. No one likes that anymore, that's dumb. Call of Duty went back on that, which means it's time we get rid of it. Especially since the health isn't even on the screen in this game. The health is the lights on your suit. Yeah, the lights that are constantly obstructed by literally everything your suit does, like when you move your arms, or when you go into cover, or when you're jetting. You know, those things you're doing all the time. I don't know how that got past the playtesting stage. Second, slow-mo, jetting, and melee all use the same resource, and really shouldn't. Now, it's the overheat gauge, and the suit will overheat if you use it too much, so I get that. But, no. What's the point of having a game about doing a lot of cool stuff when you can only do one cool thing at a time and none of them together? Because when you overheat, you're basically terrible and you have to go back into cover, that thing you're not supposed to be doing in this game. So here's my solutions. 1, jet, consuming heat, yeah, that's fine. Leave it. Overextending is bad, and having players being able to, like, practice their timing and learning when to accelerate and when not to accelerate is good and all. Second, melee only consume a little bit of the heat meter, and in exchange, melee will not do a ton of damage anymore. Instead, melee will do damage relative to the suit's current velocity. Meaning when you're at a standstill, melee won't do much damage, but it does work as a way to knock enemies back so you can shoot them, or dodge away even better. And if you melee at the end of a long dash, as most people do so that they can maximize the meter, it will do a lot more damage, thus encouraging people to constantly be moving really fast. You know, the thing that this whole game is about, being the fastest shooter ever made. Finally, here's the thing about the slow-mo. It shouldn't consume any resource. Slow-mo should now be an in-game reward, like in Bayonetta, or literally all of Platinum's other games. So instead of being something that allows you to do optimal play, it should be a reward for optimal play, because the game punishes you for using it, which sucks because this is a console third-person shooter that's really, really fast. You're gonna need the slow-mo to pull off all that precise movements. Because otherwise, why would they let you even do all these things, like shoot grenades out of the air? So what am I talking about? Well, maybe shooting while vaulting. Shooting after rolling out of the way and dodging an enemy attack. Shooting while in the midst of jet booting. Shooting after meleeing an enemy away from yourself. But Keegan, you might ask, aren't those just the same things that reward slow-mo in the first game? Yes. Yes, they are. Which means it won't be hard to change them. Except the first game, slow-mo was a resource, not a reward. But notice that all these things, all the times where it's useful to use slow-mo, only occur when you're playing the game in a way where you're moving really fast, taking out enemies, and not being in cover. Cover is there to help you regenerate your life. Cover is essentially your health system, your med packs, if you will. And so, people who play the game well will need to go into cover, because they're doing all these cool things, and they'll be in slow motion, so it's easier for them to avoid stuff. Now you might also ask, but won't you just be in slow-mo all the time? Yes, you will be. But again, all the things that you do to gain slow-mo are things that involve not being in cover. And thus you're at risk. And when you have very, very little health, that is quite the risk. But you're rewarded for taking these risks. In the Burnout series, you didn't get boost meter without doing stuff that put you at risk. So reward players for playing the game in the coolest way possible, and not for playing it just like literally every other shooter, where they're safe. Because a score doesn't tell you how much fun you had.